Hello there. Thanks so much for joining me today. I'm Colleen Klimczak. I'm an organizational and productivity coach and a certified professional organizer. I own Peace of Mind Professional Organizing, LLC. Since 2003, I've been helping my clients live better lives through organizing and organizational and productivity coaching. I support my clients and my community with coaching, in-person and virtual organizing, my weekly podcast called Your Organized Life with Colleen Klimczak, a free weekly virtual productivity session called Finish Line Friday, a free weekly email newsletter, and regular content on Facebook and Instagram. I also offer presentations and professional development to groups and companies. And coming soon, I'll be launching a membership circle to support my community with even more coaching and productivity content. Want to finish strong this week? Join me for Finish Line Friday every Friday morning at 9 a.m. Central for a 2-hour productivity session. Drop me an email at Colleen@peaceofmindpo.com to request my Zoom room link or follow the Zoom room link on my Instagram or Facebook pages. Welcome to Your Organized Life, episode 179. The working title for today's article is A Real-Life Productivity Case Study, From Busy to Intentional. So I worked with a client last week. She's also a friend, a network partner, a fellow business owner. Call her what you want. I will call her Jane. Of course, that's not her name, but it is today. I assured her when I asked permission to write about her this week that all names, as they say, are changed to protect the innocent. Jane is all of those things that I mentioned: a friend, a network partner, a client, a business owner, and so much more. Jane and I have known each other a long time. We met in a women's networking group many years ago. Like most of my clients, she is amazing and also very organized. But also, like most of my clients, she needs more hours in the day to be as amazing as she wants to be. Jane and I have worked in her physical space, in her office, and also her creative space. And last week, she asked if we could start our session talking about productivity before jumping into our hands-on project for the day. And of course, I said yes. So I'm going to approach this topic today like a case study, a real-life application of the productivity tools I talk about to help you imagine how to apply the tools to your own life as well. Jane has recently changed roles and assumed more responsibilities in both her personal and professional life. And she felt that now would be a good time for a productivity conversation. She's high performing and she's doing a great job, but she would also like to do some things better or with more ease. She holds too many details and data points in her head every day, and she feels there could be better ways to manage all of this. Sound familiar? Yeah, I thought so too. A little more about Jane. Her company is in sales and is grounded in professional interactions with highly personalized client care. She'd like to serve her current clients well and also increase her sales to current clients. She'd like to grow her business and add to her client base and feels that she can increase her marketing and social media presence to gain new clients. She'd like to learn more about new advancements in her industry towards better client care and increasing sales. And she'd also like to participate regularly in industry-specific professional development. She would like to make time for the business building tasks, the CEO and strategic planning and goal setting tasks that don't seem to make it on the list from day to day in the midst of the work associated with running the business. I know for me, that one really resonates with me. And then finally, Jane wants to set up her technology so that she can handle client care and business tasks remotely from her iPad as she travels to have better work-life balance with her family. Again, sound familiar? Yes, Jane is a real person. However, she sounds like so many of my productivity clients, and even myself, as I run my own company in the midst of the rest of my life. It's easier for me to write about just one person when I write this article, but honestly, I have 20 plus current clients, and this list of wants is similar to at least half of them. So Jane was seeking suggestions to add productivity tools to effectively care for her vitally important client and business tasks because those pay the bills, and also get some of those bigger picture tasks to build the business and client base, increasing revenue and longevity for herself and her company. So as we got started, I asked Jane to walk me through a typical day, acknowledging successes and also pain points. Some of this information came up in the intake, but here's the recap. Her successes are Jane has a clear vision of what she and her company offers to her clients. She has a great grasp of technology. She knows that there's many technological tools available to her, and she is savvy enough to learn to use them better. And she's really good with her clear vision of what she wants to accomplish every day. She is a list maker and keeps that list close at hand because she knows she's a visual processor and that having the list nearby helps her. A few of the pain points that she identified were that she carries too much information in her head and would like better systems, that she gets distracted from her plans, and she'd like to strike a better balance between a quick response to client requests and also continuing with her own plan for the day. For example, a request from a customer will come up and she will think, I know I'm working on my quarterly taxes right now, but surely I can take 5 minutes and fulfill that client order. However, she responds to the client, but then gets distracted again by something else, and she never gets back to the taxes. So client requests mean sales, and sales pay the bills, but she wants to get back more quickly to her planned work. So she also really wants to spend time in her already busy schedule. And finally, the pain point is that she's not getting to those bigger picture things. She wants to spend more time on professional development, marketing, new client calls, social media, and strategic planning. For our case study today, we are going to look at the different productivity tools that Jane is using. So the first productivity tool is clear responsibilities and a job description. Because Jane is great like that, she had already done some work before our appointment. She had written down all the tasks she was required to do to keep her business running smoothly. And this would have been my first suggestion as well. I won't get too specific because, again, confidentiality, but she wrote things down like following up on current client proposals for new products, or accounts receivables for current clients, or personally reaching out regarding supply orders for new clients, or paying her own bills, answering the phone and checking email, paying quarterly taxes. I mean, the list was long. She also had another page of projects and goals and ideas she hasn't yet done but would like to work on. So she's collected names and emails for a mailing list for many years, but doesn't send things out regularly. She'd like to spend more time on social media and marketing and strategic planning. And she also wants to set up her iPad with her client database and the parent company for her business. So she did a great job at thoroughly capturing the tasks she completes. And as we looked at the list, I moved on to the next productivity tool, and that was to ask her about realistic time estimates. So one homework project for Jane will be to attach the frequency of each task and also realistic time estimates for them. For example, she says she pays quarterly taxes, obviously, every 3 months, right? That's the frequency, and it takes up to 3 days each quarter to prepare and pay them. So that needs to be noted. On the other hand, Jane realized that a few days a week, for perhaps an hour total on those days, she can check her parent company's website to determine which of her clients may need to reorder supplies and can reach out to those clients, improving client care and also increasing sales, right? So frequency and realistic time estimates. So now that she's identified the tasks, how long they take, and how often to do them, they can go on her to-do list. Stepping back or to the side, another productivity tool, and I've spoken about this recently back in February, is your done list. So if you also want to tackle this type of process, you could refer to your done list that I recently talked about, and that could help you identify what tasks you're spending your time on from day to day. Jane can look back at her past to-do lists if she's curious about other tasks she needs to add to that list of things she needs to do in the business. Next up is to-do lists. Productivity tool, to-do lists. Once we have the tasks that need to be completed every day or week or month or quarter, we can craft our to-do lists. Jane is already good at pairing up her tasks she needs to complete with regularity with her available work time each day and making that to-do list. Another productivity tool that I don't often talk about is a master to-do list. So in addition to daily to-do lists, I suggested to Jane, and I also suggest to all of you, to consider creating a master to-do list. This is the list of all the things in all the areas all at once. I know it can feel and look a little intimidating, but it is helpful to have a place to park all of those tasks for today and also for someday. I know that this is a Jane case study, but to help explain a master to-do list, at the end of my master to-do list for my company, I have stuff listed for January of 2027. I need to renew a professional membership. I have a specific list of end of the year money tasks like generating 1099s and collecting my W-2s. And I even have an item on there for January of 2029 to recertify for my CPO. That is an every 3-year task that I just completed. Where else would you park all those weird things other than a master to-do list? So honestly, I am relieved to park those long-term items on my master to-do list. So I'm confident I won't lose them. Next productivity tool is today's top 3 and also that daily planning practice that goes along with it. In March, I shared my Today's Top 3 article, where I recommended creating an end-of-day planning session for the next day, or a first thing in the morning session for the day. Jane recognized the value in more consistently capturing her client follow-up tasks from day to day. For example, she identified that after she sends a proposal to an existing client for new products, she relies on her memory to remind her to follow up in a few days, and she admits that that does not always go as planned. So she realized that looking at today's to-do list and also her done list is a more reliable way to remember when she needs to reach back out to that client. The next productivity tool is daily routines. You and I know there are tasks that we all have to do as part of our workday. So Jane and I discussed, for example, the first 5 tasks every day in the first 10 minutes, or the things to do when she gets back from lunch, or the things to do before ending her workday. Tasks like checking the company's voicemail or checking in on her to-do list in today's top 3. Maybe a quick email review to add anything new to today's to-do list. Bank deposits. We like money. Bank's nice. Or maybe checking the mail. Next productivity tool is standard operating procedures and template tasks. So Jane has taken great strides in recent months to streamline her client processes, like creating and sending and tracking new and current client proposals for new products. Again, without getting too specific, as part of her company's excellent client service, she regularly updates her clients on warranty information or potential maintenance and repairs or inventory reorders. She clearly walked me through the updated process that she uses with all her clients. And my suggestion for her was that she should document that and make a standard operating procedure that every client goes through and make it repeatable so she doesn't have to keep all of those data points in her brain all the time. So she's created and also improved the process. Hooray! Now she can let that process work better for her. 3 connected productivity tools are batch working, time blocking, and the Pomodoro method. As Jane and I discussed her daily and weekly work, her client care processes, and finally, tackling some of those long neglected professional development sessions and marketing and social media projects, she stated that time blocking these batches of work made sense to her. So batch work is collecting similar types of tasks together, like taking care of client billing for many clients all at once on a given day, or working on her accounts payable twice a month to keep current on her bill paying. An insightful awareness that Jane identified was that if she used batch work for her important work like client follow-up and writing proposals, she wouldn't feel the need to worry about all of those areas of her work when that wasn't the batch she needed to focus on today. She could trust the process and that important work would get done in a timely manner at the planned times during the week. And of course, batch work dovetails nicely with time blocking. So time blocking is breaking our workday into pieces, perhaps 1 to 2 hours each for batches of work or to work on bigger projects, with time in between to answer emails or phone messages or texts or grab lunch, maybe shift mental gears for a little while, and then get back to work on the batches of work or projects you plan to work on. So those scheduled breaks, similar to the Pomodoro method, also give her an opportunity to check in on her daily to-do list and today's top 3 to make sure she's getting to her important work. Time blocking and batch work help us to manage those inevitable interruptions by putting some boundaries on our responses and therefore protecting our focus. Okay, almost done, friends. Finally, goal setting and quarterly planning. So we didn't use the goal setting tools like SMART goals or PACT goals that I've talked about, at least not yet, but Jane had already identified her goals and knows what she's working towards. Whew, okay, so case study complete. Thank you for walking through my clients' recent productivity experiences with me. The bigger question, of course, is do you see yourself in any of that narrative? I know I do. And I do love a good case study to help us personalize productivity tools and strategies, identifying where in our own personal and professional lives we can employ the tools too. So let me know your thoughts, and as always, reach out to me if it's time to add more productivity tools into your day as well. Support around getting things done and other productivity tools is what productivity coaching is all about. If it's time to invest in yourself and explore coaching for organizing and productivity, I would love to hear from you. Drop me a line via email at colleen@peaceofmindpo.com or message me through my social media platforms like Facebook, Instagram, or LinkedIn. Thanks so much, and I will talk to you next week.